My name is Leilani Thatcher, a tour guide at the Library of Lost Things. This is The Doorstep Project, Episode 6, The Lighthouse Keeper. We have something I'm very excited about today. A new box appeared at the office yesterday from Florida. Fake address, fake name, everything normal. There were a few interesting documents in the box, but they all need to be checked through. There was a library book tucked in the bottom, though, and Gavin was going to send it back, but I managed to get a hold of it before he did. The library it's from does want it back, even though they have no record of having the book in their collection. But I want to make a record of it first because it finishes a mystery we already started. In an earlier episode, we reviewed a partial manuscript from R.T. Sinclair, and this book seems to be the finished product. The first two chapters of the book are, more or less, the manuscript we read a few episodes ago, so make sure you go listen to that episode before this one. And now that we have the first two initials of the writer... Okay. Although there are plenty of authors with the last name Sinclair, we don't know anything about this writer, and I can't find any record of them online. There are some R. Sinclairs, and some of them have middle names, but none of them are writers. So no more information than we had before. Great. A quick recap. This book is a short story about a lighthouse in the middle of an unnamed sea, and the man who was sent to live in it. It's narrated by an unnamed person. The first two chapters tell us about the lighthouse and the keepers of the lighthouse. The rest of the story is about the man the moon chose. Chapter 3 picks up where the manuscript left off, so I'll start there. And so the moon made one last plea. One more person. One more life for the sun to read, one more, and I will never ask again. A person who will be happy in the lighthouse. You have all sacrificed enough. All I ask is one more person. So they sent the old man, who had lived a long and happy life. He met the moon at the shore and got in the boat. The moon was worried, but the man said, I believe I will be very happy in the lighthouse. Chapter 3. The old man was very happy in the lighthouse, and the moon was happy to see him there. He prayed to the sun, thanking the sun for the gift of the lighthouse, and at night the man would talk to the moon. He would read the moon the story he had written for the sun, and sing with the moon when he cleaned at night. Sometimes the old man would ask the moon how his family was on the shore, and the moon would send him a message from his children. Years went by, many more than any of the other keepers had survived. He would write story by story, and he seemed to never run out. So many years passed, and most of his people forgot they had ever sent him to the lighthouse. The man stopped asking the moon how his family was. The moon did not tell him all of his friends and children had died, and that his grandchildren didn't remember him. A generation passed, then two. As the third generation began, it seemed as if the man would never run out of stories. Still, the sun complained. I am bored of his stories, moon. The moon ignored the sun. The moon was happy with this man and would not send him away. The sun began to ignore the old man. He would refuse to take his stories and would stay beneath the sea for so many days so that the old man would be awake for weeks. The moon tried to comfort the old man, but the sun scolded the man. Do not listen to the moon. The moon is the one who sent the boat to you. I was following orders, the moon insisted. The moon is the one who placed you here. The old man shook his head. I am very happy in this lighthouse. But the man stopped talking to the moon. He stopped singing songs with the moon and stopped sharing his memories. The moon continued to sing, however. The sun laughed at the moon. He does not care. He is ignoring you. The moon ignored the sun. Chapter 4. Then on, the old man would spend every day in his room at the bottom of the lighthouse, then climb the lighthouse quietly. He would turn on the light bulb, clean the windows, and then sit down and write. One story every day, one memory, one single moment in his life. The man continued to ignore the moon. The moon was sad, but it knew that the man was scared the sun would be angry if he talked to the moon. The moon watched as the man began to fear his climb to the top of the lighthouse. The moon always waited for him, and the sun often watched him turn off the light bulb in the morning. As the days continued, the man would climb the stairs later in the evening and would turn the light off earlier, sometimes before the sun came up. The old man became restless. Once he climbed the stairs and only wrote a few sentences before going downstairs once again. The moon saw how hard he tried and called to him as he would run. "I'm proud of you." The moon wished it could tell the sun how hard the old man had tried. The day came when the old man climbed the tower and cried. The moon sang to him quietly, trying to calm his mind. The man ignored the moon. Tears wet the pages as the moon watched the old man write down his last memory. The moon never read what the man wrote, but the moon knew it was his last memory. This was the memory the old man never wanted to give up. Before the old man went downstairs, he searched for the sky and the moon, and the moon saw how scared the man was. He was out of memories and out of time. Chapter 5. The man climbed the lighthouse, defeated. He had missed the sun dropping beneath the sea again. "I am proud of you," the moon called. The man ignored the moon. His notebook was open on the desk. He wished he could remember the words he had written. The old man hunched over the desk to pray. The moon heard nothing. Silently, it cried. The man wrote all night, tearing pages from the notebook and starting over almost every hour. And when the sun began to rise, the old man hobbled away, forgetting to turn off the light. "You did well," the moon called as he ran. The old man ignored the moon. The next night, the man climbed the tower hours after the sun had left. Words were still written on the pages from the night before. The man hung his head and ignored the moon. Every night he ignored the moon. He heard it speak and he heard it sing, but he was scared. He did not have time to be afraid. He did not have time to talk to the moon. And now, he did. The man turned on the light for the boats and listened to the moon sing. He stared at the moon from his seat, and he smiled. "Thank you, my friend," the old man whispered as the sun began to rise. The moon wept. "I am proud of you." The next morning, the old man did not climb the tower. The moon knew the sun was bored. It wanted a new keeper, but the moon knew none would come. "I want something new," the sun cried. The old man had nothing new to give. He had told his stories. He had spun his tales. And now he was tired. All he had left was the lighthouse. The windows were dusty from the days spent without a rag. The table was cluttered from a lifetime of blank pages. The man was tired from all these years of writing. The old man never returned to the top of the lighthouse. At first, the sun laughed when he would see the empty lighthouse. "Good people did not deserve my gift." The moon cried for the man and for the ignorance of the sun. Many nights went by without a light in the lonely building. The sun no longer laughed. The moon no longer cried for the man, but for the boats on the rocks. The sun began to scream. "Where is my keeper? Where have they gone? Why is there none to fill this room, to turn my light on for the night?" The moon did not respond. The man did not reappear. No boat came to the island to bring another keeper. So the moon began to stay at the lighthouse. It began to light the waters with stars, placing them gently beneath the waves to show the way. It began to reflect itself in the dusty windows. It began to send meteors to guide the boats. Many years passed in silence in the lighthouse. Boats no longer come through its waters, and the sun no longer visits. So the moon began to write, so no man would ignore it again. For the moon had many stories to sacrifice. This one was the moon's favorite. I think my favorite thing about this book is it makes itself feel real. There isn't a table of contents or note from the author or even a copyright page. There is a dedication here that says, "For the light keepers, I never ignored you." This book, titled The Last Keeper, will be kept by the Clearview Library in Stayner, Ontario in a few months. It's a rare book, I think. I mean, you can't find it online or anything. I doubt it will be available to check out. But now you can listen to it whenever you'd like. I think I'm going to read this story once again before it's shipped off to Canada. Maybe I'll write a copy of it up, just for me. Thank you for listening to The Doorstep Project. This audio drama was created and produced by Family Friendly Podcasts. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave a rating and review on your podcast app of choice or share it with a friend. Leilani and the project will be back next week. Until then, write every day. One day your story could be in a museum. The Doorstep Project is produced by Family Friendly Podcasts. It was written, edited, and performed by AJ Barton. Sound effects for this podcast are provided by Zapsplat. Music used in this podcast includes Reawakening by Kevin McLeod, licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license. You can learn more at his website, incompetech.com, or at creativecommons.org. Both music and sound effects have been changed and edited by AJ Barton. Links for websites, information, and contact can be found in the description of the episode. Would you like to submit your story or art to the Doorstep Project? You can find information for story submission at familyfriendlypodcast.com/The Doorstep Project. Information on CC by 4.0 licenses can be found at creativecommons.org.